Hey everyone, this is Ryan with Netfloor USA Cable Management Access Floors. This video is for installers. It's going to give some detailed information about installing our floor. If you're a customer and you want to know more about the installation process, the companion video to this video is probably what you're going to want to watch. Anyways, let's get started. So if you're installing this floor, you've put out the sound attenuating blanket or underlayment, and then you go and you put down the base connectors, and looking at the floor panel itself, you don't really have to worry about going around columns or curves or anything because the bottom has 64 pedestals. So if you have to cut part of the panel to make it fit into place, it's lightweight and the support has 64 pedestals. So if you cut it, you don't have to worry about bracing it or putting another pedestal underneath it. You just cut it to fit the floor plan or to fit around challenging points. So you've got your underlayment, you have that white thing, which is called a base connector. And the base connector allows you to put the floor panels into place, and it locks them into a nice square grid. Then you go ahead and once you have everything, the floor panels on top, they're going to be locked into place, and you can start doing the central caps, which are those black things in the middle, and then the flank caps or trench caps. And you can do that now, so when you leave the job site, the floor is finished. And then the IT and electrical contractors can come in later and they can put in their wires. Sometimes, however, and this is kind of the exception, but sometimes they don't want you to put the trench caps in place. So you could go and have the IT guys run the cables or wires in the trenches and then come back later and cover the wires up, cover the trenches or raceways up with the connectors. This little piece here is a starting cap, so it kind of finishes off that end very nicely. The row is nice and smooth. So really, this is how you install it. It's really simple. And at any point during the installation process, they can come through and route their wires whichever way they want. If you're cutting out holes for grommets or floor boxes, cut them out. You don't have to worry about going up too close to the edge or reinforcing anything in the panel. Just cut out a square and put the floor panel into place. So let's assume you've got most of the floor done. You want to get towards the finishing touches. A ramp is one of those finishing touches. This is a regular ramp, 2-foot wide section. You can see how it tapers down to a nice edge. And then looking at the bottom, it's got a lot of points where you can put adhesive on it. We do prefer if you use adhesive, but sometimes the customer won't let you use adhesive. So you kind of have to cross that bridge when you get there. But in any case, the floor needs to meet up to the ramp very smoothly. So in this situation right here, we're just demonstrating with a full floor panel, and there's a little bit of a divot right there. So in some cases, you're going to have a quarter panel left or 3/4 of a panel left. In that case, the ramp goes right up to the floor panel. But in this case, since we're using a full floor panel, there's a little divot we have to fill in, and that's what the edge trimmer is for. You peel off the backing and it's sticky. So it's really simple. You just peel that off and you stick it into place right there, and that fills in that little divot. Again, this is used when you have a full floor panel and then you're going to transition to the wall or transition to the ramp. And just to show you what it would look like when it's all said and done, we're demonstrating with a carpet tile here. You want to place it halfway on the ramp, halfway on the floor, so that way over the years you don't get any telegraphing or anything, you don't get the seams coming up. So run your hand across this. Nobody's going to get down in the real world and run their hands across it, but if it feels good and looks good, then you've done a good job. So the next thing I wanted to show you is another type of ramp section. It's a larger ramp section because the slope is 1:20. So the first ramp section is 1:12 and this other ramp is 1:20, so it's a longer piece of ramp material. So I'll go ahead and prep the edge, putting those trimmers down. Now again, if you get up to the wall or someplace in the floor plan in the room and you have a partial panel, you don't need to use the trimmers. But in any case, you're going to take the floor and the ramp and you're going to join them together. Now, a while ago, I was talking about using adhesive. If the landlord or the customer does not want you to use adhesive, because after all, the rest of our floor is free floating and you don't need to use adhesive. If you can't use adhesive, then what you can use is Gorilla Tape. And that may sound a little odd, but in a moment I'll show you where you would put the Gorilla Tape to hold everything together. If you're using adhesive, go ahead and put it down, let it cure for 15 to 20 minutes so it gets tacky, and then you put your ramp material down. Now, what do you do if you get a ramp that's sized a weird size? Well, use as many big pieces of ramp as possible and then use the 4-inch wide sections to fill in the rest of the space. These are the 4-inch wide sections here. Again, you can use adhesive or you can use tape to adhere them down. In this scenario, we're using one big ramp section, and then I just fill in the rest with the 4-inch wide ramp sections. Once it's covered up, they're so smooth, you have no idea that you're using one big ramp section and little ramp sections. An alternative is to take big ramp sections and cut them to size. So if you had an odd shaped or odd sized doorway or an odd shape, you need a weird ramp, go ahead and cut the ramp down the middle. Whatever you need, you can do this in the field. Or you can use the 4-inch wide ramp sections and just fill it in until you have the ramp finished the way you want. Again, it really all comes down to the transition, the look, and the feel of how this floor feels, because one of your goals and our goals is to make sure that the customer gets a cable management access floor that doesn't take up a lot of space. And really, they have no idea that they're working on it every day because the cables are under the floor. You've done a great job of installing it. And right there, I'm showing you how you would go and put Gorilla Tape in 3 places along the top, the middle, and the bottom of the ramp if you're not allowed to use adhesive. So again, your job may or may not include putting the finished floor material down. If it doesn't, then great for you. It looks like you're almost done. If you are the contractor and you're going to put down a carpet tile or other finished floor, put it down, walk across it, make sure the transition is smooth. Most people are just going to walk up and down this and have no idea they're going up and down a ramp. Nobody's going to march in place like this to check it out. But the key is, if it looks good and it feels good, it's going to be good. Okay, it's going to work good and your customers are going to be happy. So this is a basic overview of how to install the raised floor. It's very simple to install, especially in a square or rectangular room. The challenge really happens when you have to go around a column, or you have an odd angle, or you have to go around a curved wall or something. When that happens, the panels are easy to cut along the curved wall, cut them into shape. The ramps are easy to cut if you have to cut the ramps. So really, it's a very easy system, even if you end up with a challenging installation. Challenging meaning they want odd-shaped ramps or they have an odd-shaped office building. Thank you very much. And here's some bonus material. We're just doing some close-up shots. If you need some more information, I'll use this time to tell you how to get a hold of us. Our website is www.netfloorusa.com, and our phone number is 844-NETFLOOR. That translates out to 844-638-3566. If you're an installer, you're probably already talking to one of our project managers, so go ahead and give them a call or shoot them an email if you have any questions. When we actually get in the field and there's an active project going on and an installer has a question, we're very easy to get a hold of. A lot of times we like to do video chat. So you show us the hang up, like you can't really figure out how to do the ramp, or you can't figure out how to get around this odd shaped corner in the room. We'll walk you through it. Take some pictures, or actually better, do live video, and in real time, we will go through and tell you what you need to do. That's if we're not on site. In many cases, we're gonna be on site supervising the installation. Again, this is if Netfloor USA is not doing the installation ourselves and someone else is doing it. Again, at the end, you want it to look good, you want it to feel good, and if those two things happen, it's going to be a great installation. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, especially specific questions, give us a call. All right, guys, have a great installation, and we hope you enjoy the Netfloor USA Access Floor System. Take care.